Hello, Smite fans, and welcome to Smite Oceania Pro League. This is Super Week, alright? Now, Super Week, for those of you that don't know, means that we will have double the games played. So tonight, we're going to have 3 of our best-of-3 series played. Tomorrow, we'll be bringing another best-of-3 series to you. I am usually joining me on the commentary desk for this first series is Timmy.
Yes, and for the first game, we're going to see Pandamonium versus Tainted Minds, the top two teams at the moment. A little bit of back history. The roster of Pandamonium have not lost a game in OCE history. The furthest they've ever gone was a 2-1 against Direwolves at the end of the Invitational Ladder. That's the series before the first OPL last year. Now, the big question is, can Tainted Mind do it?
Well, we'll be heading into picks and bans in just a moment, and we'll see if Tainted Minds will be able to, strike a blow against Pandamonium. Alright, now heading into picks and bans, folks, let's take a look at what these guys are going to do. I expect that if anyone this split is going to take a game of Team Pandemonium, it will be Tainted Minds. Simply for the fact that, as you mentioned to me, they're the 2 top-of-the-table teams. Teams like Direwolves just not performing as expected. Odin, the first man out there from Pandemonium, showing they've been doing some research on Tainted Minds.
Yeah, Tainted Mind's been incredibly strong, and they've also responded with a Chiron ban. At the moment, Subfloor has been playing nothing but Chiron this entire split.
Thor now, banned away from Pandemonium, looking to cut away from Shred's Godpool. He does have Hornbucks and Raven in his repertoire that we've seen so far. I wouldn't expect that would impact him too bad. I do like the Chiron take away by Tainted Minds. Pandemonium run a very vanilla kind of team comp with Chiron, Sobek, and Wheelix. And look, now Sobek taken away by Tainted Minds, so they've clearly done some research on the opposition.
Yes, we're not going to be able to get that Sobek and Raijin first debut in the OPL so far. He's going to be coming out with a new bag of tricks. Going to see a lot of surprises coming out for him. Hixie, what are your thoughts on Raijin?
He just puts out a lot of damage in the late game. Got a taunt on his ultimate as well, which is just insane. Also some fears. Alright, Guan Yu and Khepri now picked up by Tainted Minds.
Yeah, Guan Yu and Khepri, probably the 2 strongest support characters in the OPL meta so far. Guan Yu able to heal everyone up so ridiculously, and Khepri, just the revive has been incredibly strong. Maybe looking for some sort of execute to bypass that revive. However, we are going to see the Athena and Nemesis game picked up. Rose Nemesis has been probably one of the scariest we've ever seen so far.
Yeah, his Nemesis was on point during the regional finals at PAX. Soul now taken up here by Tainted Minds. I really like the Soul pickup. Again, that's taking away from something on Pandemonium. I think it synergizes really well with a Khepri as well, because Soul just becomes almost impossible to kill once she goes into... Sorry, she does become literally impossible to kill once she goes in corporeal form. You combine that with a Khepri revive as well. Going to be extremely difficult to lock down that mage. Bellona and Apollo now banned away by the teams.
Yeah, Apollo and Bellona, both very strong gods. I'd say Apollo maybe has fallen out a little bit. He's still a very strong hunter, but he's still very strong, especially in that split push region. Medusa also getting banned out by Tainted Minds.
It looks like Tainted Minds are coming here with a clear plan. They take away the Medusa, which synergizes just so well with the Athena and with Raijin. That's 2 taunts you've got right there to pull you into that Medusa ultimate. So some good picking and banning so far from Tainted Minds. I'm interested to see where Pandemonium goes, and again, they're targeting Shred here, taking away his Horn Butts.
That is now 2 junglers being banned off thanks to Pandemonium, so it's going to be a question of what Shred's going to get picked up. Neith getting picked up for Tainted Minds, that means Soul is most likely going to be going into the mid lane, being played by Slicey.
Yeah, he's played that Soul before, and he's done it to great
effect. It works.
It's a good... I feel like Soul is actually a better mid laner than a Hunter.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. As a hunter, she kind of lacks the real oomph that you get with a hunter. Amaterasu and On Her game picked up as well. 2 Japanese gods, 2 very recent gods from Pandemonium. And On Her recently gained a buff with the reduced mana cost as well as the buffed passive. And Fenrir is going to be your last pick.
So Fenrir is going to be coming out from Shred. I actually really like that pick. I think it provides a lot of setup for the rest of his team. You can get some early damage out there. You combine it as well with a Guan Yu. You combine actually all of Tainted Minds lineup together. I really like this composition because they've got a lot of heals coming out of Idavine. And the revive from Tomolomo as well. It's going to be very difficult to secure a kill down onto anyone in this Tainted Minds lineup. You look at Team Pandamonium, and you see basically what they're counting on is set up for a Cheetah's ult.
Yeah, but I look at Tainted Minds, and from the picks, it seems like they're going to be able to control the pace of the game quite well, especially in those team fights. But now time for talk is drawing nigh, and we're going to go ahead and go into the first game of Tainted Minds versus Pandamonium.
So we're just getting into game now, folks, and everything goes well we expected it. Soul in the mid lane, Neath in the AD carry position. Gruff's played a fair bit of Neath in his time as well. Neath, just a very solid all-round hunter in this game. Provides more ability damage than auto-attack damage, but you're never really going to lose the laning phase, especially when you have a Kepler with you as well. They should be able to push out Swayer and Subfloor.
Yeah, I feel that they'll be able to push that fairly decently. Capri's clear is the strongest Guardian clear so far. The only person who can really maybe compete with him is Sylvanas, but he lacks in those team fights.
Alrighty, we can see some early warding coming out from both of these teams. On the right-hand side of the map, Pandamonium. Now, this is a warding trait I've noticed in them in this split is they ward the entry to their own blue buff, looking to spot out any invades, rather than necessarily trying to get the timers off of their opposition, because I guess just they keep that internal rather than having to have the timer on it exactly.
Well, we've seen a few games throughout this split where if you invade the blue buff, it sets the pace and really puts one solo laner behind, and if you continue that aggression, it just snowballs so hard. So ward out at the very beginning, you're going to be able to see if anything's going to come up, and you can adjust according to on the fly.
Take a look at our solo and see if both of them have gone Bluestone Pendant to start here, team.
Yeah, Bluestone Pendant I feel is the better choice here. The Telosot is absolutely a monster with Bluestone Pendant. Although I think with Amaterasu, you could sway between either the Death's Toll or the Bluestone. Personally, just by themselves, I prefer Death's Toll just because it gives you more sustain, gives you a little bit extra health, and it just allows you to stay in lane a bit longer.
Alright, Idavine and Shred pick up the right-hand side mid camps there, whereas Rowan Sporks just took their blue at the back Harpies. So a little bit of extra experience in the pocket of Tainted Minds just to start this one off.
The important thing that I'm going to be looking for is what's going to happen with those singular boars on the solo side, because now that's not in the starting routine, and I'm wondering if that's going to get invaded, or if it's just not really worth it.
Well, I see starting up the left-hand side mid camps here, just looking to poke out Ro and a Cheetah Shred hanging around the backside. The Tainted Minds looking over the dual lane. Gruff actually taking a very low here, taunted by Swayer, but he should be alright for now as Subfloor is behind, just clearing the way if he had no mana. Gruff barely escaping first blood.
Very surprising. We gave the early clear to Tainted Minds, but the actual aggression that Pandemonium can have in this dual lane is very high. Athena can play very aggressively, and on her, it's just always going to play aggressive.
Right, mid camps still being contested by these two teams. Tainted Minds both have power pots, whereas Ro opted to go into the boots to give him a little bit more movement speed. Tainted Minds not even contesting them. Pandemonium do take the left-hand side after for free, but Shred very aggressive on a Cheetah and manages to pick him up with the first line before the Raijin can teleport away.
Thunderclash does have a little bit of a delay to it, so you can interrupt Raijin or just simply kill him off in time if you manage to do so. So a little bit of a Raijin's Achilles heel.
Righty, so that's also going to be a wasted purple pot for a Cheetah who bought that power pot at the start and has not got much use out of it at all. He's going to be behind Slicey now for the next little part of the game.
The other thing is that Slicey still has his purple buff, so he can fight Ochito all he wants. He's going to have that power swing.
And Soul early game, I believe, has the advantage over Raijin. Raijin tends to get his damage more towards the later stages of the mid game. Tainted Minds now playing pretty aggressively here, going to steal away the left-hand side boards from Pandemonium.
Yes, board stealing is going to be very important in that duo side, as it is the only side with the double boards. We did miss, however, Idavine using the cavalry charge to try and get Sporks down, but he managed to get underneath the tower. So Sporks still having the dazzling offense, he could have the advantage if he wants to turn on the fights.
Alrighty, we can see Tainted Minds now going to take their own left-hand side boards. Take a look at our graphs now very early on. We can see A 700 gold difference already going the way of Tainted Minds. Nothing too major at this stage, but still worth noting. The level 5 has come around now, and look for Tainted Minds to make a fight of it very soon.
I'm looking at the team compositions, and I'd say they're both fairly equal in both early game and late game. Some departments are a little bit swayed one to the other, especially the Nemesis against the Fenrir, very much late game versus early game. So that's really going to be the point of aggression. That's what's going to set the tone.
Righty, mid lane now. Slicey Shred just pushing up the wave. Not needing to play too aggressively at the moment. They don't know where Pandamonium is. No wards down on the map for Tainted Minds. Pandamonium do have currently what limited vision control there is to be had at this stage in the game. Looks like now Tainted Minds are perhaps considering invading the red buff of Pandemonium, but think better of it as Rowan Spork invade the blue buff. Look like they take it here, and now iDivine, Nemesis ult onto him. Cavalry charge coming out, Neat ult comes out, but Sporks manages to get a kill onto iDivine.
And now Tainted Minds are on hot pursuit onto Rowan and Sporks, but they're just too far ahead. They've already got the foot lead, so they're not going to be able to catch them. And that was a successful invade from Team Pandemonium. They managed to secure the blue buff, but didn't pick it up.
They don't need to pick it up. They deny it to iDivine, and B, they got a kill on him anyway, so need to risk it and go back in there for the proverbial biscuit, which is the blue buff. So wise choice there from Pandemonium, knowing that they'd overstayed their welcome, picked up a kill, got out, forced a Neat ult as well as a Guan Yu ult, so they'll be calling very much worth.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what you want to do. Try and force out as many things as possible, and then get away scot-free. But like you said, the buff stealing is really what's been so powerful in OCE so far. You steal the buffs. We saw Tainted Minds versus Direwolves. The first game went to Direwolves very clearly because they were so aggressive onto that red buff. So I want to see Team Pandemonium start looking towards not only this blue buff, but also the red buff.
Slicey mid lane gets some damage down onto a cheetah. He's forced to teleport away. See Shredded Divine rotating out, perhaps looking to catch someone out as they back. It's not going to be, however, everyone on Team Pandemonium manages to get out safely. Looking towards our duo side of things, Dub4 not going the Transcendence route on Anher, instead going a Death's Toll Warrior Tarbai.
I think he's expecting to take a fair bit of poke from both Gruff and Tomolomu, so he wants that Death's Toll just to help him sustain that a little bit longer. Honor doesn't do great with Bluestone Pennant because he doesn't have any multiple ticking abilities until he has his ultimate, and at level 5, Bluestone kind of falls off. But on the right hand side, iDivine gains chase down underneath the tower. Cavalry charge is not going to be able to save his life.
Walks there, nice, gets the Heavenly Reflection. Rogue actually takes the Neath ultimate, just looks at Tomolomu and says, what are you going to do to me? But there, iDivine turned around to look at Sporks and see if he could stay in lane. Should have just kept running there, might have been able to live. Duo side of things now, Gruff forced a backflip away from a rotation from Swayer and Ochita. Never in any real danger there, however, so he's just going to play it safe under his own tower.
Yeah, Neath is fairly safe. That backflip just allows you to get so much distance, and if they still
Tomolomu now on the right hand side of things, caught out Row and Sporks chasing around. Heavenly Reflection almost picks him up. Tomolomu pops the Kepri Revive on himself. If Pandemonium will look to go aggressive, Shred there in the ultimate picks up Row, but Row purification's away. Shred chasing him down, but the shield is popped from Row. In comes Athena, slamming down Swayer, looking to peel for his team, and he does so successfully. Pandemonium escapes.
That is an advantage of a Nemesis. If you have some sort of channeling, ticking ability, you can use the shield to reflect and heal up all that damage. So as long as he's got his purification for the Ragnarok, the Brutalize is not going to be able to be effective.
And this is a trend we're seeing a lot in OCE now. Both of the supports here picked up Traveler Shoes. Yeah,
it just allows you to rotate a little bit faster, chase people down, get them back towards your team, especially with the Confound Taunt. But the actual goal just allows you to keep up with the pace because, you know, Oceania is very fast-paced. It's very much fight, fight, fight.
Alrighty, mid-camp's left-hand side now. Started up by Pandemonium. Cheetahs and Slicey have both gone the boots route. This is something that both of these mid laners seem to favor, is foregoing the Doom Orb, recognizing that they're probably going to get picked on a fair bit, and going the boots instead. Slicey, with his escapability with the incorporeal form and the Kepri Revive, probably could safely go into the Doom Orb, but I like the early penetration coming out from the boots.
The boots is just such a good power spike value sort of item, and it's kind of like how a solo laner doesn't get a relic straight away. You feel the game first, you see what you need. If you get very ganked on by a very aggressive jungler, you might go into a Warlock Sash just so you have a bit more health to sustain through. If you're really hitting your stride, then you go for the Doom Orb.
Shred now is sitting over in the right-hand side, looking perhaps for Sporks. Sporks used his dash there, and now Shred goes in the ultimate, but Sporks immediately bonds with his own and prevents any aggression coming out. Divine as well, cavalry charged.
Yeah, very peculiar. He wasn't in any danger. Sporks retreated back to the lane, back to the tower, as it was a 2v1 situation. So I'm not too sure. Maybe a fat finger?
Could be. Swayer in the mid lane now, looking to dash perhaps into Tomolomu. Ochida and Roa hang around on the right-hand side, but it is not to be.
Yes, now both teams kind of circling around each other. Look at Ro though, he looks very aggressive as he's coming up on the top side of this mid lane entrance. He's gonna be looking for something as there's no buffs around him.
Divine rotating towards the fire elementals now. Oh, looking perhaps for something here. They do have a ward. Tainted Minds to spot him out. Ochida looking for Divine now, but not going to find him. Ro and Sporks, though, chasing Divine back to his tier 2 tower. Divine still doesn't have his ultimate available, and Sporks picks up the kill there. Tomolomu rotating around just a little bit too late to revive his teammate.
Divine now 0 and 3, getting picked on very aggressively. Shred underneath the tower, almost getting away. Yes, he will. The Desert Fury will not be able to connect.
Alright, now we can see Tomolomu looking to perhaps pull someone in to some damage from Slicey. Shred going to be able to back up here pretty freely. Rose split pushing over on the right-hand side, essentially doing some damage to this tier 1 tower.
Yes, he's got the heavy mace, so he does have a little bit of penetration, plus a decent amount of power. He won't be able to get this tower, but he will at least set it up for Sporks.
I really like this call from Pandamonium. You get Ro to go over and do the damage, keep Sporks, who's Amaterasu, with the team, because Sporks just provides more in the 3-on-3 fight than a Nemesis does.
Yeah, that Benevolence and Valor stance just allows for so much mobility or power. It's Amaterasu shines in a team fight.
Alrighty, 3-man grouping from Tainted Minds in the mid lane now. Swayer and Ochida defending their tower here. They should be able to clear this wave with relative ease. It doesn't look like Tainted Minds want to go too aggressive on them.
Yeah, no, it is a little bit surprising as well, because Ochida, he's been leveling up the Percussive Storm, not the Raijus too. Normally if you level up the Raiju, which is the little lightning spirit that you send out, you're looking for very high burst damage, you're looking for those kills. Ochida's looking to farm.
Yeah, Ochida just wants to get to late game. That's when Raijin does so much damage, is when he's got a lot of his items and abilities online, compared to a Soul, which really the early game is where she is very, very strong, especially with a power pot, as we saw Slicey do earlier. Mid game, we've seen her struggle a bit in the past. We saw that at Super Regionals and at SWC, but Ochida late game, Raijin's ultimate just does so much damage, even when you use the Taunt and Fear combination.
Oh, the taco drums is just insane, and like you said, it does have a taunt, it does have a fear, so if there's a team fight in the jungle where it's all very much confined, very much tunneled, then it allows a lot of team fight presence. It's like a waxing moon from a Chang'e. You hit multiple people with it, it makes a team fight.
Shred jumps into Ochida there, but takes a lot of damage. Ochida, with the ultimate, just destroys Shred. Swayer there credited with the kill, and now Pandemonium going to siege the tier 1 tower in the mid lane.
Take a look at our graphs. We can see it has gone back to the way of Pandemonium. 3,500 XP and just over 1,000 gold to their favor. Not a huge lead at the moment, but Swayer gained back into the front.
Well, it's in Slicey there, but just keeping him off from defending his tier 1 tower. It falls down there, left-hand side. Gruff pushing a wave under tower, going to back away now. Pandemonium perhaps thinking about Gold Fury. No, they're looking to rotate for Gruff here. They don't realize that he's back. Could maybe get caught out if Tainted Minds look to pick him off here, but Tainted just gonna let him go.
I think in in those little skirmishes, those 1v1s, 2v2s, I think Pandemonium have a upper hand. So Tainted Minds, they don't really want to fight at the moment. If they are going to fight, they have to fight as a group and need to be very coordinated, because that's how their team fight is going to go. Like I said earlier, their composition is very much, we're going to control the pace of the fight, not you.
Alrighty, water control around the Gold Fury, very much in favor of Tainted Minds. 3 Sentry Wards and 2 normals around the Harpy Pit there. You can see that Team Pandemonium are more looking for just pathing into the lanes at this point.
Yeah, they're looking for those picks off. They want to try and get Divine as much as possible, and they may be looking towards Tomolomu or Graf, just try and keep them down, keep them from really getting up. Tainted Minds, they know if they lose a Gold Fury to Pandemonium, it's just not going. It's going to be very hard to recover from. Oh, look at
Gold Fury
this.
now started up by Tainted Minds. Divine teleported in. That's necessary for Tainted Minds to do this. They need the healing. Gruff backflips, puts a weave down, ready to secure it. Slicey comes in as well. Tainted Minds take a Gold Fury for free. Subfloor now coming in. Gruff uses the ultimate, looking for Pandemonium. Tomolomu very low. Rowe credited with a kill as Divine picks up Ochita. Rowe heals up all that damage with a shield. Shred pulls him in, looking for some revenge onto Pandemonium, but Rowe running away now. Swayer and Sporks being chased down by the rest of Tainted Minds. Divine pops down a wicked because Sporks with the ultimate stuns out. No one there. Shred picks up Rowe as he dashes in, and now Tainted Minds are pressuring down Pandemonium.
Oh, Subfloor put the pillar up right in front of Rowe, trapping him in, wasting one of his dashes. Tainted Minds, they could very easily pick up Sporks here, although the Athena ultimate is along the way.
Here comes Swayer, look for something. Great stun there by Shred. Divine pulled under tower, nearly taken out. Heals himself up at the last moment. Swayer unable to find that kill. Sporks here, pretty low, could be picked off if Tainted Minds play this one right, but instead they're just going to back off and realize they've won enough from this fight. Let's go and get our buffs.
That is a demonstration of the power of Athena. If they did not have the Athena to use the Defender of Olympus, or even if it was down, Sporks would have gone down underneath the tower, and Tainted Minds would have picked up the second tower of the game.
Alrighty, let's take a look at some of our builds here. Let's look at Slicey now, picking up that Telkine's ring, Timmy.
Yeah, Talcon's ring is, at the moment, is preferred over on a grip, just simply because the extra 35 damage that you do on top of your auto attacks is pretty nice. Not to mention it gives 45 magical power and 30 attack speed. Very strong for Assault.
Alrighty, take a look now back towards our mid lane. Ochita gonna be pushing this one up. Hit 15.5 minutes in the game. Look at our graphs as well. 2700 XP is the lead for Team Pandemonium, but the gold is dead even.
Yeah, gold's dead even, and between the ways, I see only a difference of 1 level, although Swayer is 2 levels above Tomolomu. That's the greatest swing at the moment.
Right hand side, we can see Tier 1 tower falls. In comes Shred. Divine goes into the cavalry charge, looking for Sporks. Doesn't stun him out as the dazzling offense comes out. Great ultimate there from Rowe. Shreds Divine's health, and Shred picks up Sporks. Shield there from Rowe prevents a lot of the damage coming out. Tomolomu is here, pulling to Sporks. He should fall down in the second as Slicey is credited with the kill. But Rowe is now in danger. Shred chasing him down. Rowe unable to get away. Good taunt there from Swayer. Pulls Shred under the tower. Ochita teleports in. Shred misses the jump stun and takes a hell of a lot of damage from Ochita. But Tainted Minds are on the offense here, and they're looking for this tower.
Although they need to be careful of Ochita, he still has the ultimate. If he lines himself up properly, he could do a lot of damage.
Ochita in the ultimate is looking for Shred, but a nice skill there from Divine keeps his jungler alive. Subfloor has rotated in from the side, looking for Tainted Minds, but Gruff is there to respond in kind. Divine rotates in. Subfloor with the Desert Fury, but the Tallow Assault is enough for Divine to pick up the kill. There's the Kepri revive down onto Gruff, although he doesn't really need it. Cavalry charge again from Divine. Rowe is picked up, and now Swayer very low. Tainted Minds taking it to the defending regional champs, and now it is only Ochita and Sporks left alive. Sporks teleports in. Dazzling offense, looking for Gruff, stuns him out there. Gruff very low under the tower, but Shred is the one taking it here. Now it is switched to Tomolomu, and Tier 2 tower on the right-hand side, forced to Tainted Minds. 7-5 reads the scoreline.
That is the power of a Guan Yu and Kepri team in the team fights. If anyone gets low enough to die, they're revived, and everyone else is just constantly healed by the Guan Yu. This is why he's picked and banned so often. He is so powerful.
The 5v5 team fight from Tainted Minds is just insane at the moment. As you mentioned, the Guan Yu heals are crazy, but then you add that in with a Kepri revive and a soul that has the ability to go incorporeal and take 0 damage. Makes it very difficult for Pandemonium to pick up anyone in these team fights, and they really need to be selecting their targets very carefully.
Another thing that commonly gets overlooked is the Rise and Dawn from Capri. If you get hit by it, your protections are either reduced or you get damage reduction up to 30% damage reduction, 25% protection debuff. In a team fight, you hit plenty of people with that, it really swings.
Right, we can see Rowe here now trying to invade the backboards of Gruff, but the backfoot from Gruff manages to pick that one up for the side of Tainted Minds. You can see Rowe now going again pretty aggressively on this red buff, but Tainted Minds rotate in time and force him off of it. Gold Fury about 10 seconds away from popping back up. This should be the next big objective fight in this game.
Yeah, Pandamonium are going to be looking for this. At the moment, there's 3,000 gold in advantage of Tainted Minds, just over 1,000 XP as well. But they know that if they just try and go for a fight, they have to either do it quick and sweetly, or they have to get out. They cannot fight extendedly.
Alrighty, we can see Rowe hanging around here by the Gold Fury Tainted Minds. Putting it pretty excessively here. Starting it up is Gruff and Slicey. This kind of essentially double Hunter comp that they are running means that they can shred objectives like this pretty quickly. Gold Fury is already under 50% health. Pandemonium trying to crack in. No one was zoning away Sports and Swayer there. Gold Fury leashed now. Rowe uses his ultimate onto Gruff there. Gruff taken very low. Kepa revive is popped as Shred is in the back line of Pandemonium. There is Ochida in the ultimate. Gruff is picked up there by Rowe, but Subfloor take a lot of damage from Divine and Tomolomu. Slicey now fighting 2v1 against Rowe, and Sporks is picked up by Ochida, who teleports in and looks for Shred. Shred needs to run away, but Rowe picks him up in the end with some help from the archers. Tainted Minds running away, and Pandemonium looking for the Gold Fury.
I think that was kind of badly played by Tainted Minds because they knew that all of the ultimates from Pandemonium were up and ready. And if they go in hard. They can have the quick fights, but not the extended ones. And now Pandemonium getting the Gold Fury, normalizing the gold difference to just 100.
Righty, now we can see Divine and Tomolomu trying to chase down Pandemonium here. I doubt they have the damage online at this point to effectively do anything, but they can steal away some of the jungle and farm from Team Pandemonium, so that's just what they're going to do here. Make the sting of losing that Gold Fury just hurt a little bit less.
I'm looking at Tainted Minds belts at the moment. I see an Ancient Blade from Shred, as well as an Adventurous Blade, which will be going into a Wind Blade on Slicey. I'm not too sure what Shred could be going into. Could be a Witchblade or a Wind Blade.
A Wingblade, I
feel a bit good.
Sense. It gives you health, which you really like. It's just an all-round good stat. It gives you movement speed, which is good for a jungler. It gives you some attack speed as well. The crowd control reduction is pretty efficient as well. You've got some crowd control coming through from Swayer and from Sporks, both with a stun and a taunt there. Subfloor's got some kind of crowd control with his knock-up off the jump. Ochida's got crowd control in the ultimate if he uses a taunt. You get mezzed by his teleport as well, so I could see it being pretty effective there. I can't imagine it being really anything else. The Witchblade doesn't make a lot of sense. The only really auto-attack-based god on the side of Team Pandemonium is Subfloor. That would make more sense coming out of someone on Pandemonium. Now we can see an engagement here. Swayer taken very low and doesn't manage to defend over Olympus now before Slicey picks him up. Rowe between two members of Tainted Minds, and now Shred is looking for a neat ult comes out, but it's Purification by Rowe, uses the ultimate onto Idivine, but there's the counter recharge, dazzling offense from Sporks, looks for Idivine, Rowe very low, and Slicey picks him up with the ultimate, and now Tainted Minds are looking like the aggressors here as Sporks falls down to Shred, and now Tainted Minds should be turning their attention to the left-hand side tower.
Tainted Minds are showing up. Let me restate what I said before. The roster of the Pandemonium has not lost a single game in Oceanic history. The closest they have ever gone was over a year ago when they went 2-1. Tainted Minds does not care.
Alright, now pushing down the left-hand side, Tainted Minds looking for the Phoenix at this point. Roman Sporks don't spawn again for 10 and 20 seconds respectively with this double Hunter combo. As I mentioned before, they should be able to shred this one pretty efficiently. It is Ochida using his ult, looking for Tomolomu, but the Kepri revive on Idivine is too strong. Left-hand side, Phoenix falls. Great poke here out of Slicey onto Ochida.
I just want to touch on what we were talking about before about the Windblade. You forgot the very big passive of it, where if you get hit by a slow, the slows cleanse, you're immune to slows and you move faster. They have a Nemesis and an Onher, both with very strong slows. The Onher very much focused for team slows. So that just allows them to not get locked down, be able to reposition themselves into something favorable, and then they can turn around the fight.
Righty, we can see now checking out grabs, experience difference swinging in the favor of Tainted Minds for 2200. 4100 is the goal difference from the boys with the green and purple brains.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot more builds coming out that tickles my fancy, especially the Stonekine Sword. I always love seeing Stonekine Sword. And on a Nemesis, that's going to do so much.
Yeah, it's really... Who do you think it's really... it's going for, I suppose, Divine, Shred, and Tomolomu is going to be Rose targets in these fights?
Well, the thing is, you hit someone with the Nemesis Sword, you steal their movement speed and their protections. You hit someone with the Stonekine Sword, you remove their protections and add it to you. So, in a team fight, when Nemesis starts swinging, the ult comes out, she actually becomes very, very tanky.
You think about it though, a lot of the damage on the side, actually, let's check our player damage chart. You'd see the majority of the damage on Tainted Minds is coming out from Slicey though, rather than necessarily a physical damage source like Idivine or Gruff. Idivine doing a fair amount, but most of that's got to be in lane against Sporks.
Yeah, Idivine has been on top of the charts for quite a while, and we see the mid lane and the solo laner for Team Pandemonium are not too far off. You know, they're both the top player damage for their team respectively.
We can see Tainted Minds positioning around the Fire Giant at this point, looking to keep Pandemonium away. Row with the shield there, doing some damage to Shred, but now it looks like Tomolomu is looking for Slayer or Sporks. Cheetah forced to teleport away, and now Shred just going straight for the mid lane of Pandemonium, whose Sanctuary is away. There he is in his ultimate, just trying to keep everyone away from him, but he's going to fall down in just a second if Slicey can get there, and he does. He picks up Ochita and Sanctuaries away. There is the Kepri revive, but Slicey doesn't need it, manages to get away from the Desert Fury. Row, one hit away from death here. Shred picks it up with an in-hand, and now Tainted Minds chase it down the right-hand side. They pick up subfloor there with a pull-in from the Kepri. Slicey looking for the kill. Subfloor jumps away, but Shred chases him down, and he's got a double Spork and Slayer being chased all the way back to their Phoenix. Shred taking it up here as Slicey and Gruff look to apply the damage.
Tainted Minds have been using their resources so effectively. They use just the right amount of people to secure the kills and keep on the pressure, and then they just all collapse in.
Tainted Minds is going for it.
They're going for it. They're looking for the Titan. They're looking to end. It is only Slayer who's up right now, and he cannot defend against all of Tainted Minds.
Shred may fall down here, but the Titan's already on 50% health. Ochita doesn't spawn for another 3 seconds, and Tainted Minds are going to do it. Gods can bleed, ladies and gentlemen. Pandemonium drops first game in OCE for almost 12 months.
For almost 12 months, the roster of Pandemonium have been the juggernauts. Like you said, gods can now bleed, as we've seen. The question is, can they do it again? This is, of course, a best-of-3 series, and ultimately, you want to get the win.
Exactly right. The series win is what's going to be impactful, but Tainted Minds definitely have to be happy they took a game there off of Team Pandemonium. It's going to be so helpful for them to get to LAN. It just improves their chances, and it shows when they do make it to LAN, if that is where they end up at the end of the season, that it's not going to be a foregone conclusion, and Pandemonium is going to have to work for it.
Yeah, I feel that these two teams will meet each other in the LAN. I just want to touch on real quickly before we go for a break. Guan Yu with 14,000 player healing.
That's what you get that's what you expect when you pick up a Guan Yu. Great draft there for Tainted Minds, and just great rotations and everything else from the squad there. As you mentioned though, Timmy, we are going to take a short break here. We'll be back very shortly with game number 2 between Tainted Minds and Team Pandemonium.